Are you struggling searching for the best places to live in Tampa and St. Petersburg and you just don't know how to find the right area for you? Well, in this video, I'm gonna break it down a little bit. I'm gonna talk about some neighborhoods and I'm gonna talk about some strategies that I think will work for you when you're looking to relocate to the Tampa St. Pete area. So let's get after it right now. Hey there, future Floridians. I'm Emily. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Florida, and I live in the Tampa St. Pete area, and this channel is dedicated to all things living, working, playing, sleeping, eating, and especially the real estate market here in Central Florida. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and click that subscribe button and that notification bell. That really helps me out a lot. And don't forget, hit me with a thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot as well. And a comment below. Give me a suggestion, give me some sort of feedback. I love it. I read all of the comments. And don't forget, if you have any real estate related questions or you're looking to relocate to the Tampa St. Pete market, I'm your girl, so I can't help you if you don't reach out to me. So feel free to send me a text, an email, or you can go ahead and jump on my calendar for a 30-minute consultation, and we can kind of talk a little bit more strategically about your plan and get going. So today I wanted to focus a little bit more on how to search for the best area for you to live in and what are some strategies that have been working for me and my clients in order to do so. I've been getting a lot of questions about different areas and lots of complaints, not gonna lie. And trying to help you navigate the areas of Tampa and St. Pete according to your criteria is challenging. So in this video, I just really wanted to break it down how I work with clients, and maybe it resonates with you, and then you'll give me a call and I can help you out. Call me. The first thing I need you to figure out is, are you gonna be on the East Coast or the West Coast? And that should be a whole nother video on the difference between the East Coast of Florida, especially Central Florida, or the West Coast of Central Florida. Now, I am not here to speak to you about Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, any of that. It's not my area. I can speak to you from everything from Hudson all the way down to Sarasota. I know those areas. So when it comes to East Coast, West Coast, you're really gonna have to do your research. You're gonna really have to visit both the East Coast and the West Coast to determine if you are a West Coaster or an East Coaster. I'm a West Coaster. So I'm gonna obviously love talking to you about the West Coast. We have the best sunsets, we have the best water temperature, we have the best water to do all of the water activities that I personally love to do. Fishing, boating, not hiking, you can't hike in the water, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, snorkeling, swimming with the manatees. On the East Coast, now you East Coasters out there, comment below if there's some things that you love about the East Coast or some things you don't like about the East Coast. That really helps everybody as well. But I know from my own experience that the water over there is a lot choppier and it's not so conducive to the water sports that I love. I'm also, when I go to the beach, I like to hang out in the water. And with the waves crashing and the undertow, it makes it virtually impossible on the East Coast. Not to mention, you've got better sunsets on the West Coast, I think. But cooler temps, cooler breezes, cooler water temps on the East Coast for sure. So, something else you need to think about. Do you need to be close to the beach? Do you need to be close to nature or hiking and biking trails? These are things that you need to know as well. Do you want a house? Do you want a condo? Are HOAs a concern? Do you want low HOAs? Do you want a newer home? Do you need to be near schools, hospitals, shopping, the airport? Are you a commuter? These are many of the things that I go over with my clients when we're on that 30-minute consultation call to kind of help me narrow down and help best guide you into the areas that are gonna work best for you, according to me. So the next thing I have people do is ask them to go visit these areas. And some of the areas that I've been talking to people about the most lately are everything from Palm Harbor, all the way down to Clearwater, which includes Dunedin, Safety Harbor, Oldsmar, and Eastlake. A lot of people have been asking me, where can I get nicer neighborhoods closer to the water or close to a beach, as well as with maybe low HOAs and that sort of thing. So it's really hard. There's not one area that provides that. People drive around Tampa. I had a client tell me, Denise, thank you. She drove to West Chase and thought West Chase was beautiful, but the outlining neighborhoods were not so pretty. And that's true. And I live near that area, so I understand what she's talking about. So if that is important to you, that is something you need to consider. Tampa doesn't necessarily have 10 miles of beautiful landscape. You know, you're gonna hit one gorgeous neighborhood, and then you're gonna hit an area that's not so gorgeous, and then you're gonna hit another gorgeous neighborhood, and it's just the way that it works here. Also, I noticed that a lot of my clients are asking for things like a 3-car garage, mother-in-law suites, and all these are understandable criteria. I really get it, but it's going to narrow your possibilities. And so what I've been suggesting people do is, yes, let's look at the market, let's watch the market, let's look at some areas. And like I mentioned, if you want to be near the beach, you're going to have to stay on the west side of Tampa. You want to stay to the west of the airport. You want to stay on the west side of Tampa and on the St. Pete side. That's West Hillsborough County and that's Pinellas County. Now, don't confuse St. Pete with St. Pete Beach. Two totally different things. St. Petersburg, Florida is its own town. St. Pete Beach is just an area. And we call, of course, St. Petersburg, St. Pete. Not St. Pete's, St. Pete. So again, once you have decided on your criteria, whether you're going to be on the East Coast or the West Coast, do you have to have that 3-car garage? Can you live with 2? Do you want to be in a home? Do you want to be in a condo? Do you want to be near the beach? Or do you want to be out away from the city? Or do you want to be inside the city? These are very important things you need to discuss with your agent or with me. And you and your family need to discuss that. How close do you need to be to a hospital? How close do you need to be to shopping? That way, I can help determine little areas for you to discover. So then when you've figured out that criteria, and let's say you're on the West Coast and you want to be closer to the beach, then I can help narrow down some neighborhoods for you to go take a look at. And the best thing to do is to come visit. Come. You have to come visit and see if the vibe of these neighborhoods is going to fit your lifestyle. There's no other way. I have sold homes to people virtually, doing virtual tours. That is something I can do for you. And a lot of agents are doing that for people. But when it comes to the look, feel, touch, vibe, driving around, getting that like, yeah, this feels right. That's up to you. You have to come here and do your own homework and research. I can help guide you, and I will even take you around to some neighborhoods, and I will absolutely help you narrow down areas. But in order to do that, you really have to do your own homework on the back end and determine some of those key factors first. So for all of my nature people, if you don't care about being close to the beach, some of the areas that I am telling people about are definitely Wesley Chapel. Wesley Chapel, though, is its own city, but it's out there. Okay, it's got Epperson Lagoon, which has been very popular with a lot of people. It's if you want a little water oasis and you don't necessarily want to drive an hour to the beach, it is a good option. It will cost you though. There are also wonderful homes in the Land O'Lakes area, the Lutz area, and the surrounding areas of that part of Tampa. That's called the northeast part of Tampa. Also, you can go down southeast of Tampa and go to Riverview, Brandon, Fishhawk, Bloomingdale. You can even go as far down as Palmetto and Ruskin and Apollo Beach. So that all has its own vibe as well. Don't be fooled though, Apollo Beach is not a beach. It has a manatee viewing area and it's got some, waterfront views for sure, but it doesn't have a beach. So if you're thinking, I'll just go towards the east side of the bay, the east part of Tampa, and I'll go live in Apollo Beach because I'll be near a beach. That's not necessarily true. New construction, I get asked this a lot. You have to understand that Tampa is densely populated, just like St. Pete. So there are no big areas to put these big HOA planned communities within. So the new construction companies had to go outside of the Tampa city limits in order to find land to put these big communities in. And that is going to take you further away from the beach. So unless it's a tear down lot, a little house that somebody has torn down and put a new piece of property on on, that's different. But if you're looking for a big community feel, brand new, lush landscape with all of the community features, that's going to be in the north part of Tampa, northeast part of Tampa. Some of North Tampa, central Tampa, in the Odessa area and up to Trinity has that as well, and it's beautiful, but you are out there. And to your left might be cow pasture, and to your right might be your new subdivision, so keep that in mind. In St. Pete, we get asked all the time about St. Pete. Here's the thing, St. Pete is a city, so you're going to be living within the city with all of its diversity, and it's not necessarily going to have all that new feel. There's no major HOAs over on the Pinellas side. If there are, it's in their small communities like the condo communities, and that's a case-by-case basis. But there's going to be some really great neighborhoods in St. Pete. It just depends on what you're looking for. That's why I tell people when it comes to St. Pete, it's really about your personal preference. You're going to need to drive around because St. Pete is expanding and growing, and some of the neighborhoods that I've mentioned in the past are getting overgrown, and so they're pushing everybody and all the property development people towards the central part of St. Pete, which is a good thing. So some of those neighborhoods are starting to get developed and cleaned up a little bit. That's good for you, but you're gonna have to drive it and hang out there a little bit to see if it fits your vibe. Like I said, St. Pete has a very different vibe than Tampa and all the little surrounding neighborhoods within that area as well. So it comes down to what is gonna work for you and your family. You've got to do your homework on the back end. You've got to talk to a licensed professional, real estate professional in the state of Florida. Let me help you out. You've got to talk to a lender and understand what you're approved for and what you need to do. Start that planning early now so you know how much cash you're going to need on hand. And then you're really going to have to work closely with your agent about areas, especially if you don't live here and you're going to have to visit here and kind of drive around. And, I've been telling people get an Airbnb in Nadina for a couple of days, then get an Airbnb in Seminole Heights for a couple of days, and then get an Airbnb in Clearwater. There are so many wonderful little communities, and I can't tell you what I think you're gonna like. Only you're gonna be able to determine that. And then I can assist you in guiding you into the little nugget areas that are surrounding it and see what we can find for you. But it's gonna be a scavenger hunt. It's just the way the world is, and especially the real estate market and the Tampa real estate market. We are the #1 place to live. Lots of people are moving to Tampa. We made the Forbes list. #1 place to live is Tampa. So when you're looking and you're really trying to narrow down if Tampa's right for you, you're gonna really need some people with boots on the ground to help you out. So give me a call, give me a text, shoot me an email, or jump on my calendar for that 30-minute consultation, and we can dive in a little bit more deeper, and I can help you really understand these areas and what I think is gonna work best for you. Is it gonna be Tampa? Is it gonna be St. Pete? If so, what part of those cities can we put you in? And then I'll tell you, hey, come visit, let's go drive around, and let's see what's gonna work for you. And this process may take a while, so give yourself enough time to do the planning that is necessary so that you can make the right decision for you and your family. Well, I think that does it. I'd love to hear back from you guys. If there's something that I've missed, comment below, or if you have something to add to this video, I really love it. And as always, I really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and that notification bell and hit me up with a thumbs up if you don't mind, that'd be great. And I really appreciate you coming and checking out my channel and my content, and I look forward to helping you. Again, don't forget, you can contact me with all my links below and we can get a conversation going. But until next time, everyone, I really appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.